My last video about Silksong, I knew it was going to be controversial. I don't say controversial things just to be controversial. They are my honest thoughts. Just so you know, they are truly my honest thoughts. And just because I am in a opinion that doesn't be shared with the forward majority, doesn't mean I'm doing it just to be a contrarian. I'm just going to throw that out there. And I also feel like because I make people mad, they misconstrued what I say. Might make a separate video about that later, but today I am defending Silksong because I wasn't even attacking the game itself last time. I was just attacking fandoms, and I was using Silksong as a vehicle, like I said. But today, fans or video game enthusiasts or people who just want to talk shit online. So let's talk about game difficulty. So the thing that's been going around online is about the difficulty of Silksong. And whenever a game like this comes out that has no difficulty tiers, there is no slider for difficulty, but it happens to be a more difficult game, there are always somebody coming out of the woodwork bitching about I'm not skilled enough to fight go far in this game because I'm not willing to learn the mechanics and actually be patient with it, and I just lose, and then I get mad instead of actually learning how to play the game. I'm not saying I'm not one of those people that does that privately with certain games. It's what you're willing to do. But like when the Crash Reunited trilogy came out, whenever a FromSoft game comes out, like a Dark Souls, or a Cuphead or Silksong, this conversation always comes up, and it's always dumb because gamers for some reason want every game to cater to everybody in every scenario, and that's just not how art works, and that's not how you make a good product. You make a product that you want. An artist makes the art that they want. Some people will think it sucks, some people will think it's good. Sometimes it's Batman v Superman, so it just sucks. But criticizing art because it's not your taste compared to something that you could actually just criticize it about, right, when it comes to, like, let's talk about video games, like the game controls or artwork or story, things that you could actually complain about. The more subjective something is, the less validity that the complaint is solid. Again, no piece of art, no piece of media is free from judgment. I will talk shit about anything I want at any given moment, as people could tell. But when it comes to things like game difficulties or some other things that are just a artistic choice that you might not like, but that just might not be good for you. When it comes to game difficulty, if a developer wants to put a slider in their game, easy, medium, hard, brutal, get fucked, whatever difficulty that they want to put in their game, they're more than allowed to. They're also allowed to not put a difficulty slider in their game and have the game be as difficult as they want it to be. Some developers want a very specific experience out of the game. The game mechanics themselves could be free and you could play the game itself how you want, but the difficulty is what the game is. And that's how it used to be for the longest time, with some unlocked harder modes, but most games didn't have an easy mode back in the day. And now I think gamers are entitled to, like, hey, I want every experience to be catered to me specifically at all times. If it doesn't, then it sucks. The game difficulty is part of the art. The game is created around how hard that it is. This enemy specifically does this combo, or it gives off hits for this much damage and does these animations. And the game developer wants you to learn how to fight this boss. A game like Silksong is a trial and error style game. Same thing with Hollow Knight. So while yes, Silksong seems to be harder than Hollow Knight, it's still a game that has a curated experience in mind. Again, this happens every time a difficult game comes out. I want an easy mode because I'm not good enough. Or you could be patient with the game and actually learn how to play the game and play it better. And if a game is too difficult for you to finish and you truly can't finish it and it doesn't have a difficulty slider, then you can't finish it, or it's going to take you longer to finish to get those skills to finish it. And again, if a company wants to put an easy mode in their game, they're more than welcome to. That's the experience that they want. They want more accessibility in their games. They want people to have an easier time if they want. But I respect the developers of Silksong for being like, nope, this is the game. Here you go. This is the experience that we made for you. You should, and then you learn how to play the game. It's like bitching about an art style in the game. A game could look like shit. I'm not saying that it can't, but if you think a game is bad because it has a specific art style you don't like, it's just like because you don't like the art style. You could not like how Borderlands look because it has cel-shaded comic book look, or same thing with Tears of the Kingdom or Wind Waker. You can not like those art styles. Doesn't make the game worse for having those art styles. They still look good in those art styles. Same thing with a Call of Duty or a Battlefield or a Halo, having more realistic art styles, or like a Red Dead Redemption or whatever. Having more realistic art style, somebody who likes more cartoony, Donkey Kong style art style might not gravitate towards those games either because of the art style. I play games of art all sorts. I know the camera only shows Nintendo stuff with some extra stuff. That's just the angle of the camera. This is my backdrop. I don't really have a whole lot of room to show off more in this setting. But with my Zeldas and my Marios, I have the Call of Duties and the Uncharted and the Gran Turismo, but I also have, Okami and Kirby. So I like a lot of different types of games, right? So I like to think I'm open-minded when it comes to what a game gives me, when it comes to what the developer is looking for in their games, whether it being the art style, the controls, or how difficult it is. If a game's difficult, learn how to play it, or it's not for you. If a game has a difficulty slider, or if the game is just naturally easy, either it's too easy for you to have fun. If you truly can't have fun with the Kirby game, which, by the way, Kirby games are easy but super fun. And then you get like the crazy shit like post game, which is like cool and stuff. But if it's too easy for you, if you're like, no, I could only play Dark Souls level 1 no armor runs. That's how I play games. Then you fucking do that too. Whatever. My point is that every game doesn't have to be accessible to every single person, and then it's not for you. Or maybe learn it if you are having fun with it, but it's too hard. Learn it. You know how mad I got at Cuphead, but I wanted to finish it? I got so mad at Cuphead. And that was streamed. I got so mad at Cuphead. Honestly, I didn't even beat Dice Guy naturally. I beat him because of a glitch. But I'll fucking take it. I still beat the game. I could have given up way before the finale. I could have given up a long time ago. But no, I stuck to it. Also, that's because I was streaming, so like I had eyes on me, and I'm like, well, I can't just end the stream an hour in because I got pissed off. Which, do that. Fucking, if you're a streamer and there's a hard game, stream it. It might actually clear your head a little bit on the rage. But yeah, that's the video. Developers can make games how they want, and don't bitch about artistic choices as if they're objective truths. If you don't like something, you don't like something. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Coming from somebody who judges a lot of things. But I just think you should criticize the things that make sense to criticize. If a game is difficult because the camera doesn't work with you, or the control input is awful, or the enemies have insta-kill moves that are like 75% of what they do at you, or some other bullshit that is unfair, that makes sense to bitch about. But if it's just a game that has trial and error, but it is a balanced difficulty, but it's just a harder game, then it's just a harder game. Not every game has to have a 7-year-old, do a QA test on it to see if it's passable. Come on. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, subscribe. If you want to see even more, check out the links down below. And until next time, bye.